If you play Tekken 8 on PC, you unfortunately run the risk of running into cheaters. Now, I hesitate to throw out accusations. I feel like making a video with a platform, I have to be pretty responsible if I'm going to call someone a cheater. So I usually ask other streamers, talk to chatters of other streamers, and go to the actual replay and check their inputs to see if they're humanly reasonable. And we found a pretty egregious cheater today. Well, not today, at the time that I fought this opponent. What I want to do in this video is I want to talk you through how I look for these cheaters. What are the telltale signs of a cheater? And if you run into one, how can you try to tackle it in that match? Now, in practice, you can realistically just block a cheater if you run into it, right? You never have to fight them again. But I want to make this video because I feel like as bad as cheating is for the competitive integrity of the game, I think it's even worse if somebody gets like falsely accused of cheating and they get blocked. They can't find games. So I want us to be fairly certain if somebody is cheating, and I want to point out how we do that, right? So let's get started. First of all, you can see in the notes below what are the signs themselves. You got whack combos, you got inhuman inputs, and I'll go into detail when we look at the actual replay what these things are. And I'll talk about what illogical defense is, right? Cracked being like a fast response time, illogical being like does not really make sense if you're choosing to commit to a defensive option in the first place, right? Again, it'll be clear in the actual video. And you'll see the extremely simple offense as well. Now, in this first match, I didn't know he was a cheater. I just went in fighting normally. Now, I was a bit tilted from my last ranked match, so I throw out a Shoryuken for no reason, which he perfectly whiff punishes. At this point, nothing stood out to me as particularly suspicious. That was all King stuff. Until that part, right? King gets a combo, he heat bursts, and then heat smashes right away. This is a Tekken God Supreme. 1 or 2 ranks below like the top rank. We have a new ladder system right now, so it's a bit different. But Tekken God Supreme is pretty high. This kind of combo you usually stop seeing in like red ranks. Okay, look at how much damage this does. He's 52. Oh wow, the combo counter doesn't reset in the replay. That's interesting. All right, so look at this. He whiff punishes, blows up the wall. He's at 44 damage. He heat bursts, 46. Heat smashes, 52. That's a tiny amount of damage and a lot of resources committed. So that's kind of a red flag. He hits me with the Tawana Twister, pokes me low twice. I block the second one. And then another nice whiff punish. Okay, so this guy has a little bit of a weird combo. Nice whiff punishment. It's a bit odd, but nothing crazy. All right, so I decided to back off. My chat is telling me he's a cheater, so I want to test him. What's his offense look like? He did a throw, he did a low, and now he's sidewalking a lot. And there's a huge red flag. Not the fact that I counter hit him. That was sick. This is weird. He's sidewalking, so he's looking for a whiff. I whiff, and then he parries. That's extremely weird. Usually, if you get a whiff like this, on prediction, because sidewalking is predictive, you would do like a hop knee to whiff punish. But instead, he goes for a parry, and if you look at his input here, I'm going to zoom back in because you've seen the notes below. You look here. He goes straight back to trying to sidewalk during the parry. So this parry came through before he expected it, which is a clue that it could be a script. Again, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Here's another weird little suspicious thing. Look at how he does this throw. He runs up and does Tawana Twister. Every single button input, every direction is 2 frames exactly. And he does it twice. 2 frames exactly. If I take over the character and try to copy that, like I'm holding a pad right now, right? Let's just say I enable controls. Look at me doing this half circle input. Do you see that? All the frame counts are different because it's pretty humanly difficult to do a full circle with exactly 2 frames on every single input. So again, this is after the fact. In the match, I had no idea. But that's a little odd. And if we want to get really nitpicky, look at this again. I punch him twice, and he tries to parry while getting hit. So, not making a lot of sense here. There he gets a successful parry. So here I'm starting to believe he's a cheater, based on the chat. Based on the way he's parrying, right? The whiff parry, and then the really successful parry out of nowhere. The fact that he's sidewalking instead of trying to hit me, he wants me to attack him. And this kind of confirms it, right? I hit a low here, and it's successful because it's a counter hit, right? The next low, immediately low parried. And a low parry is a very telltale sign of a script, especially if they're just standing there doing a lot of nothing. He's not trying to hit me. He parries me again. Now it's getting really obvious. Sidewalking until I swing and then throwing the punch parry. He goes low again, and so far offensively, he's only showed 2 moves, the throw and the low. That throw and this little kick stomp, right? Down 3. King's down left kick. But look at this little interesting interaction. You see how he tried to parry again? This is where it's clear that he did not pay enough for these scripts. In Tekken 8, if you do an aerial move, a move where your character jumps in the air, they can't be parried. His script tried to parry this anyways. While he was sidewalking, right? While he's tapping down multiple times the sidewalk. So, he didn't pay enough for a script that could properly deal with all the attacks coded into Tekken. He throws me again. At this point, I haven't realized that he's only doing the 2 throw. So I don't have the, you know, the dialed in defense yet. But I do know that that's his main form of offense. And that's why I go for the Snake Charmer here. I know he's going to run up because he's doing a bunch of nothing. I weave back and get the launch. Fun little read. Obviously, there's still a chance he could adapt, but for now, I'll take my combo, and then after this combo, I'm going to try to hold my health lead. He hasn't shown a lot of offense yet, so let me just chill out, see what he'll do. He can't figure out what to do. 1-2-1 just to wall him out a bit, and he throws me again with the same throw. Notice, again, the same perfect 2 inputs, 2 frames every direction, does it twice. Okay. And then that was a mistake on my part. If he's scripting, and I believe he's scripting, why would I do a low get-up kick? Poor form by me. By the way, another perfect input. He's holding back, and then he taps down forward with no other inputs. So either he is a god at putting in inputs in his controller, or he's cheating. And it's not a single instance, let's be clear. It's the multitude of these instances, all as create a picture, right? Here, I don't know how he misses that low parry. I think it's because he hit this kick button, right? The kick button getting in the way of his low parry input. That's the only guess I have. Anyways, he hits a nice counter hit here, and every king will go for a combo. He does not. You get a full combo off of this. I would imitate it, but, you know, I can't execute on pad. And then he goes for a stomp follow-up. This is, like, again, kind of red rank stuff. You're just starting the game. He parries my Snake Charmer, and then he gets a nice punish. 3 straight rounds. Now, how do I counter this, right? We know there's a few strategies I have while I pull up the next replay. We know he's got whack combos, so he's not going to do too much damage to me. So my goal is to get a health lead and to hold that health lead. All right? The inhuman inputs are how we identify the cheater after the fact, but the idea here is I'm not going to really go low. I'm going to have to let him initiate and try to counter hit him, which Steve is decent at. His defense isn't going to be illogical. We have that parry abuse thing we can go for, and then we have to just simply read his offense, his extremely simple offense. That's our opening. Let's see how we tackle it in game 2. So I know he's going to go for the high grab. I know he's going to go for the stomp, so I chill out. I try to weave him again. I mess up a bit, and look at this. He tries to parry me again, right? He tries to parry again. So now it's pretty clear. I just have to abuse it. I don't have to guess anymore. QCF1 clips him. I don't know how, because usually the script auto blocks. And accidentally, while trying to wall him out, I found a new weakness. QCF1 seems to hit. I'm just going to run with that. Break the throw. He's only doing that throw. There's no other throw in his script that does the throw for him. I mess up my combo. That's fine. I'm not cheating. Sidewalking away from the wall. Don't want to deal with anything. I know he has to initiate. I have the health lead. Weave the throw. Perfect. Round 1. Round 2, I just got to do the same thing, but I got to get the health lead somehow. He's standing still. I won't get baited. If I attack, he'll parry, right? He ducks my throw. That confirmed my bias. I went for something relatively safe to see, right? Perfect duck input into while standing for. So now I'm certain. I have to hope that he gets bored enough and gives me an opening. So I'm moving around, faking that I'm going to attack. He heat smashes. Okay, so he will respond eventually. Now he's sidewalking again. My QCF1 was working before. There, we found the other opening. Remember, his script can't deal with airborne moves being unparryable. So I have an opening. I can do the running too. QCF1 hits again. And we're going to look, after the match, I'll show you why the QCF1 is hitting. It's a... it's a really silly reason. Backdashing away from the wall. Not forcing anything. Okay, I went too soon. He didn't throw me. He parried me. He low parried me again. I don't have the mental discipline to stop my hands. It happens. And I'm back in there, trying to bait him into doing something. QCF1 just hits again. For some reason, he cannot deal with that mid, and then we weave the obvious throw. Final round, same plan. Keep the health lead. QCF1 tends to work. Running 2 tends to work. Now he's walking forward. He tried to counter hit me, but for some reason, he wasn't fast enough. All right, running 2. He didn't parry this time. Did he turn off that part of the script? Over here. Nice. He counter hits me, but no combo conversion. Again, every King player at this level is converting that combo. And QCF1 to finish it off, hopefully. Just need a clean combo here. I'm saving the wall break because QCF1 will give a combo. Waiting for him. Don't get impatient. I try to weave. The low doesn't do anything, and then he dies. So why? How did it fall apart so quickly? He was so dominant game 1. What happened? This is what I mean when I say he didn't pay enough for his script. Not only did he have the weakness to the running jumping move while running 2, but look at this situation why my QCF1 hits. Right, so we see the miss parry again. It's pretty obvious that he's cheating. QCF1. Here, this one didn't make sense, but the next one does. Look at his input here. He put in a down forward 2, right? This is King's main counter hit tool. It's 13 frames fast, right? And you can see him swinging. For some reason, when I input QCF1, his script is too slow to counter hit it. And instead of picking a faster counter hit like a jab or doing the actual parry, his script is programmed to counter hit it, but too slowly. So every time I throw out the QCF1, he throws out down forward 2, and it's always too late. In the match, I didn't fully realize it, like what move he was trying to do. I just saw it was working. So I was like, all right, if it's working, I'll do it. And look at the next QCF1. He tries to counter hit it again with the exact same move. DF2. Trying to preempt it right here. You see that? This little elbow poke into the full launch that King can do. It's a good choice if you could do the combo and if your script can read it quickly enough. Or if you actually just, played the game and looked at your opponent, maybe you could figure that out. But his one-dimensional offense completely falls apart when all he's doing is throw, throw, the low stomp, the parry. And yeah. So this got pretty funny when he ran out of offensive ideas and was just literally standing there for 13 seconds outside of ducking my throw, heat bursting, and heat smashing. And this time he didn't bite. So I have to wonder if that idle time was him turning off or toggling different settings, which is apparently a thing now. But once again, you can see that the script falls apart right here. Running 2, parried twice, attempted to parry. And then he gets counter hit doing the DF2. So, listen. Cheating is terrible. And you're ruining the competitive integrity of Tekken. You're ruining the fun of people who actually want to get better at the game. But if you're gonna cheat, why would you cut these corners? At least cheat properly, man. What is this? Look at this. Your only option is to parry, do the counter hit too slowly, do these... Well, that's actually King's low parry combo, so that's not even that unreasonable in that case. But this is ridiculous. How are you too slow? Tool assisted. How are you too slow? Hopefully you get the point by now. Listen, I don't want to accuse random people of cheating. And there's only so much I can do. If you make too many videos on cheating, it brings awareness to the issue, right? So I think there's a sweet spot of what I should be doing here. That said, if you run into a cheater, they have weaknesses. There are things you can abuse. Sure, Steve is better at counter hitting. Steve has safe mids that are like, halfway across the screen. But the idea holds. They got here illegitimately. Take advantage of that. Hopefully that was entertaining. Hopefully that helps. Don't cheat, guys. Pay for coaching. Do something else. The point of a fighting game is to get better. It's a fighting game. It's not a winning game. Okay? And the online rank, really. Let's focus on what is important. Making ourselves better, learning things, having fun along the way. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and a comment if you did. Subscribe for more. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.